and Solis, and thank you for joining us tonight. Here's tonight's top story. Here we go again. After pulling troops out of Iraq, President Obama is sending 1,500 non-combat troops to help the 1,600 military advisors helping the Iraqi army. Here's tonight's story.
Anti-Western terrorist group ISIS, also known as Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, continues its efforts to spread Islamic Caliphate over the Middle Eastern region. Using social media and brutal terrorist tactics, it instills fear into the people of the Middle East as they wonder if they'll ever be safe again. ISIS found its origins as a faction of Al-Qaeda, but disbanded from the group earlier this year. Their serious anti-Western campaign calls for the death of all who oppose their desire for a Sunni Islamic religious state. There has been much controversy as to how to handle this terrorist group, as President Obama delayed in giving a strategy for handling this conflict in the Middle East. However, he has recently announced that airstrikes will be used, and he will send military advisors and non-combat troops to the region to help the Iraqi army dismantle this terrorist group. However, whether he is taking the best course of action in dealing with ISIS and the conflict in the Middle East is still in question. We interviewed the general population asking for their thoughts surrounding this story, and here is what they had to say.
Hi, my name is Evan.
Hey Evan, so what's your major? What do you do?
I am a master's student over at U of H in philosophy.
Alright, cool. So I got a question for you.
What's your question?
What does ISIS stand for?
ISIS stands for Islamic State in Iraq and Syria.
Alright, and what is ISIS doing in the Middle East right now?
ISIS is committing genocide against the Kurds, as well as eradicating anti-ISIS religious groups, including the Ibadi.
And what do you think is the best course of action in handling ISIS?
Best course of action is probably exactly what we're doing in strategic special ops ground forces and lots of aerial support, as well as the food aid and all the other aid that we're giving the groups.
Should we send combat troops back over there?
If you're talking about large-scale ground forces, probably not. But the UK is currently sending special ops forces.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Jonathan Cruz.
What's your major?
My major is communications.
Alright, so what is ISIS?
I'm really not too sure. I know it has something to do with Syria. I don't know what the name stands for. I just hear about it on the news a lot.
Do you know what they're doing?
No.
Do you know what we're doing?
No, I do not.
Do you know what we should do with them?
I have no idea.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Tina Nguyen.
What's your major?
I'm an accounting major.
Alright, Tina, so what is ISIS?
What? I don't know.
Do you know what ISIS stands for?
No. Oh, it's that group that they've been talking about on Facebook. I don't want the Hindu. It's like that war thingy that's going on in the Middle Eastern, over there.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Jacques Powell.
What is your major?
I'm a Bio BS major.
Alright, Jacques. So what is ISIS?
ISIS, that is a radical group that has established a caliphate in the Middle East and has been brutalizing a lot of people and causing a lot of religious persecution, especially against Christians.
Do you know what ISIS stands for?
I used to, I don't know.
And so what exactly are they doing in the Middle East? What exactly is the conflict happening over there?
The conflict over there? Mm-hmm. Basically just a lot of radicalism versus and fundamentalism over one religion in particular, which is Islam. What I do know is that there's a lot of discrepancies with what one group of Muslims believe and another one believes in, and basically they've just been fighting over each other for a long time. And basically ISIS particularly has been able to rise up and take over the region because of just foreign involvement, such as the U.S., and how they have sort of gotten rid of a hard and disciplined regime that's kept the region moderately stable. But since the U.S. has pulled out all of its forces, it's been a complete mess over there, and unfortunately a lot of people are suffering. And right now the world is just sitting back and watching and really doing nothing except for just pinpoint drone attacks.
What do you think we should do?
What we should do? Well, there's a lot of bias in this answer. I mean, I'm a Catholic. I mean, what we should do is sort of, I mean, they are pretty evil, or they choose to do bad things that wouldn't correlate to what God would want. So, you know, we have a very limited amount of options when it comes to dealing with these people and a lot of ethical and moral issues. So one of the main things that, you know, I believe in is that we should save the people who don't want to be persecuted. And by that means, we have to eliminate who is persecuting them, and that would mean sending in troops and taking back control of the region. And then also being able to find relationships and get allies within that region to help us establish a better controlled area with a better leadership there, and have a better morale social-wise as to, you know, not letting fundamentalism and radicalism dictate how people are treated and how a certain region is established. It should be based upon, you know, legal and economic reasons on why a region is established, so that people can mutually live and benefit with each other instead of being, you know, killed and worrying about what they believe in.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm John Macaron.
What's your major?
I'm a finance major with a minor in psychology.
All right, so what's ISIS?
ISIS is a terrorist group located in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria and even Libya. They're just everywhere right now. They're like a fucking virus, okay? And they're just everywhere.
What does ISIS stand for?
Islamic State. Islamic State. I don't know what the other two letters stand for. Islamic State. Islamic State. I don't know.
Of Iraq and Syria. Okay.
Of Iraq and Syria. Okay.
All right.
I was right.
So what exactly is ISIS doing in the Middle East right now?
I'm not exactly sure what they're doing in the Middle East. I mean, they're trying to deal with the fact that we may or may not have killed their leader and cover up the fact that he may be dead, and thinking and trying to scare us into thinking that they have more intelligence than we think they do. And just so everyone can know, I saw in the news that if you are a person in the Middle East and you're watching this and you plan on going on a cruise, be aware, because ISIS is avoiding military checks at airports by taking cruise ships. Okay?
So do you know what we're doing to counteract the conflict with ISIS in the Middle East?
Well, we have our airstrikes and we have our deadlines and we have our political agendas against theirs, our negotiations. Well, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Actually, our president does. But we were doing it for the lives. We were doing it for the lives of those Americans. Okay, we were doing it for the lives of those Americans with a plan one up against them. With a plan one up against them. Now, do I know what our president is doing and is capable of in this fight? No. But I'm saying I would at least like to imagine he has a one-up plan in bringing our person back when luring in the trade. We killed the guy. This is the second major terrorist we killed. Now, quote. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, because it's very possible that the guy is alive.
So what do you think we should do?
What do I think we should do?
Yeah.
You can't ask me that question. Personally, these are people who I believe, as a Texan, as an American, as a Christian, deserve the death penalty and the ultimate form of judgment from God and our government, because they have killed Americans. And if they dare bring their shit to our soil, if they dare, we're gonna fuck them up.
Well then, as you can see, the differences of opinions on how we should handle the situation with ISIS in the Middle East. Most people believe that we should send in troops to end the conflict once and for all. There are threats that have shown throughout the generations in the Middle East since pre-Islam. Threats such as pan-Arabism, nationalism, and including pan-Islam itself. The roller coaster between fundamentalism and westernization continues throughout the generations, and we can clearly see it now within this conflict with ISIS. My opinion, we should end it now, end this roller coaster, because if we do not, this roller coaster, this conflict, this struggle between fundamentalism and westernization will continue throughout the generations for our children, our children's children, and beyond. My name is Allison Solis, and thank you for watching.